Right, I just wanted to do a quick walkthrough of what I can see happening on the Euro US dollar. Only I think it's easier to do it in video form than just annotating a lot of charts to explain what I'm seeing, because it's this type of thing that I like to see. We've had price dropping down. This week we can see we failed to break the low of the previous week, and then we broke the high. The following week we had price come back and test the high of this week, and then prices continued going higher. And we've got the same thing happening here. We had 2 weeks of prices closing lower, came down to this swing point and started reacting bullish. This week, the past week, we've had price failed to break the low of the previous week here, but price went on and broke the high of the previous week. Now, what I often see happening, and this is on a fractal scale, it happens on all time frames, is price breaks the high of the previous candle, it'll come back and test the high the next week or the next hour, the next 5 minutes, whatever time frame you're using. Because price is fractal, it does the same things on all time frames. This sort of thing doesn't happen all the time, and at other times, it'll take longer for price to come back and test these things. But what I'm guessing is, price moves up, leaves a void, price comes back, fills the void, and then continues. So if we drop down to a 1 hour chart, I'll try and give some idea of what I'm seeing. You see, the dashed line is the high of the previous week. And all this price action through here is interesting, because we can see on Monday, price came up and tested through on this level, and this level was created 3 weeks ago, when this lower high created this lower low, and I run a fib from the high to the low, and this level here is between 50 and 75% of this fib, which runs from the lower high to the lower low. And you can see how the price reacted from this level a few times. And this area here is interesting as well, because it's another swing. Well, it's a swing high here. We can see how prices reacted from it. Now, you can't predict that every swing high or swing low is going to get price reacting from it. But when you see price doing this, price just broke below the swing high, which is here, and reacted so bullish. Where did it go? It came, just got through this swing point, and price immediately dropped off again. But you can see at the swing high, this yellow line, price failed to close below it after this point, and price reacted from it bullish. So you mark these swing highs out and you see price reacting like this, you can think, well, you know, price is going to be going higher. I mean, you're getting bullish price action in here, you know, and as soon as you get price breaking through the 1 hour swing point, you know, the 1 hour structure points, you can definitely say price is going higher. So, you know, that's what we've had this past week. We had price come back up into this level again and reacted bearish. But we can see this time you know, the reaction bearish is not as strong. And here, what? Because this is Tuesday, and here, look, we're getting, you know, we're getting bullish breaks of structure. But we can see I got sucked into a long trade here, but price came back. Look, you know, this was a false breakout to get people going long, putting their stops underneath the lows. So this is at least what I'm assuming is happening. Price comes back, takes out the stops and any liquidity that might be sitting under here, and price goes. And we can see here we get a bullish engulfing candle. So that is when I started looking to go long after a pullback. You get a 50% pullback here, and I'm going long. So now, you see what I did then. We get this low point, created this high point, and I'll run a fib again. And what do we get? We get price coming back in to this fib point, between 50 and 75% of the fib from the, I mean, what was this? It wasn't a higher low, but it's the low that pushed price to create this higher high. So I'll run a fib from there to there. Price comes back, and we can see here where we're getting a false breakout. This is why I want to wait for price to come back to my level before I take the trades. I mean, this is what I was doing somewhere, yeah, in here last week. Last Friday, price came, I was looking down here. What was I looking for a price from? Yeah. See, it doesn't happen all the time. See, I was looking for price to come back to the 50 to 75%, and it only came back to here and then went, so I got left behind. So at this point, you know, there was no trade for me. You know, I got into a short trade here after this bearish engulfing. But, you know, that's why I don't get sucked into trades where I don't want to take trades from. Because here, the level I wanted to be looking to take longs from was the 50 to 75%. And that didn't come in until here. What was this? 2 o'clock on Wednesday. We then get this, well, pin bar coming out of here. We then get this continuation bar, and then when price came back, this is where I was getting in long. I think I got out, I didn't go over to the next day, I just got out in here somewhere, and I saw price faffing around. But then you can see we had price, when was this? This was Thursday. I mean, I didn't trade Thursday or Friday because I'd done well enough the rest of the week. But we can see again, we get the higher low creates, I mean, this isn't a very clean higher high. This was the higher high actually, when you look at it. Because here we've had price drop back and then goes on and creates the higher high. So again, you see we go from the higher high, the higher low that creates the higher high, and run the fib. And we can see we get price reacting from here again. But there was a reason I didn't take this. Yeah. I mean, I was watching this, but I didn't bother taking it because you can see the 5-minute reaction out of here was that strong that I didn't take, take any trade out of this response, because this candle, this bullish candle, was just too strong. My stop, what would my stop have been? Yeah, you see, to get to the bottom of that candle, this level, this swing point here, I would have been nearly 30 pips. And there's only 30 pips up to here, so I wasn't prepared to take that. And I wasn't really looking to trade anyway. I was just happened to be looking at that time. So you can see we get that response here. Price then goes up, creates the new high. So there's the low. There's the low that creates the new high. And we're looking between 50 and 75%. And we can see, I wasn't even looking to trade at this time. What time's this? This is 6 o'clock. No, I'm not looking to trade anyway. But you can see price comes down, we get this tail coming through, but the bodies hold, and then we start breaking below this point on Friday. And it was this that was interesting. I was watching this. I almost took the trade on the 5-minute chart here, but I didn't. We get this engulfing, which I definitely was looking at, this bearish engulfing candle. And if price had come back to fill in this low, I'd have been looking on the M5 chart for a price action to go low. But we can see price just went, because what you'll often get, like here, you see I was watching these. See, there's the 7 o'clock candle UK time. The 8 o'clock candle, look, fails to even get above the 7 o'clock candle. And the 9 o'clock candle doesn't even get above the 8 or the 7 o'clock. The price is dropping off here. That, any thoughts of going long are fast disappearing. Because here, we get a bullish reaction. When price is up here, you're thinking, it's going to break this structure point. And we can see probably on a 5-minute chart, can see on a 5-minute chart, well, we don't quite get the close above it. So I mean, this is screaming to go short. See, I was looking at this, but I didn't take it. But we can see, you know, after this 9 o'clock bearish engulfing, I mean, I was looking to for a, like I said, a pullback, you know, into this low, the low of the. You see, again, you've got exactly the same thing as I was showing on the weekly chart. We've got price failing to close to get higher, to even wick through the 8 o'clock candle. We then get price coming and breaking through and closing below the low of the 8 o'clock candle. So I'm then looking for price to break through, come back, test the bottom, and then continue. This is 9 o'clock. Yes, the 10 o'clock candle. See, the 10 o'clock candle. See, this was the initial break below and close below on a 5-minute chart, the 8 o'clock candle, which started here. 9 o'clock candle started here. We can see we get this initial close below the 8 o'clock low here. You see, you could trade this on the 5-minute chart, but how often do you see this where you get in and then price just comes back, takes out the highs here, and then continues? You know, price just doesn't continue down. It will come back, test the highs first, and then go. You see, and at 10 o'clock, which is here on this open, I was looking for price to come back, test this again, but it didn't. You see, it was tested within the 9 o'clock, within the 9 o'clock candle. I don't know if this is making sense. There's 9 o'clock. There's 9:55. But you can see we get the break below the low of the 8 o'clock candle. You come down, come back, test this break, and then we go. And like I said, I was looking, but I didn't take it. And then we continue getting the breaks of these lows. But you know, again, the interesting thing was, you see how price breaks through this point, breaks through here. We just get the high above this structure point. Price comes back, tests inside here again, makes another high, and you see how price comes back and tests the high of the previous week in here, and then goes and breaks through this structure point, comes back again. We don't get, what we haven't got is a close beyond this high. We've only had a wick coming through it, and we're getting a close lower below these structure points here. So again, I run a fib from the high to the low. You see, this high created this lower low as these structure points got broken. So then I'm looking to 50-75% of this level. We can see at the moment price is reacting from the 50% point. That next week I want to see how price reacts from in here really to here. If we start getting price now reacting and breaking below this structure point, then we're back into bullish, bearish price action, because we can see here the whole of this week was stepping up bullish until we get into Thursday. Like I said, we get this spike up, but there's no close higher on Thursday, and then we've got price breaking lower on Friday. So what I want to see is how price comes, if price comes back, how it reacts off of here again. If it's going to react bullish, or we're going to get a bearish reaction. So that's really what I'm waiting for next week. At the moment, on the 1 hour chart, there is a bearish tendency. You know, we've had price, you know, we're making lower highs and we're making a lower low. So there is bearish structure going on here, the start of bearish structure. So like I said, I'm watching now to see if we get a bullish or a bearish reaction out of here, because you can see it's quite a level that we've been getting reaction from for the last 2 or 3 weeks. Well, 3 weeks anyway. So that's what I'm looking for next week. So anyway, I'll leave this video here, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye for now.